The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This powerful quote from Marcus Aurelius sets the stage for our journey today. Did you know that in every interaction there's a hidden battlefield? It's an unseen struggle between manipulation and authenticity, where our minds and hearts are the prizes to be won. This battlefield isn't just confined to the dramatic scenes of movies or novels. It's present in our offices, our homes, and even in the palm of our hands through our phones. Imagine navigating this complex battlefield armed with the wisdom of ancient Stoics, thinkers who deeply understood the value of the mind and how to protect it. These philosophers taught us not just to survive, but to thrive amidst life's chaos by holding firm to our inner citadel, our core of rationality and virtue. Today, we will explore how to apply Stoic wisdom to recognize manipulation tactics and shield ourselves from them. In a world where manipulation can come from anywhere and wear many masks, how do we equip ourselves to see through these tactics and protect our integrity? Stay with me, and let's uncover these crucial tactics of heavy manipulation together. We'll delve into the modern manipulations that test our Stoicism and learn how to use ancient philosophies to guard our minds and live with purpose. This isn't just about avoiding pitfalls. It's about building a life of authenticity, resilience, and true freedom. So, if you've ever felt played, pushed, or just plain puzzled by the actions of others, you're in the right place. Let's dive into this journey of empowerment together, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, and transform the way we interact with the world around us. Before we embark on this journey, I'd like to ask a small favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's a simple click for you, but a huge support for us. Also, I urge you not to skip any part of this video. You're here because you're not like the rest. You're an exception, seeking not just to navigate, but to understand and master the complexities of human interaction. Stick with me, and let's unlock these insights together. Now, let's begin our journey into the world of manipulation tactics, starting with one that might hit close to home: triangulation. 1. Triangulation. Imagine you and your best friend have a solid, unshakable bond. Then, a third person enters the picture, and suddenly, your friend starts sharing things you said in confidence or worse, twisting your words to create a narrative that pits you against each other. It feels like being back in a schoolyard drama, but with much higher stakes. As adults, the emotional fallout from such manipulation can be far more severe, leaving you questioning your judgments, your friendships, and even your sense of reality. It's as if you're playing a game where the rules constantly change, and you're always a step behind. This tactic, known as triangulation, is a classic move in the manipulator's playbook. It's designed to create confusion and conflict, keeping you off balance and isolated. But how do we deal with such underhanded tactics? Here's where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca taught us the value of inner peace and the importance of understanding our reactions to external events. When faced with triangulation, a Stoic approach would be to observe the situation with detachment, recognize the manipulation for what it is, and refuse to let it disrupt your inner serenity. Think about a recent situation where you felt pitted against someone close to you. How did it make you feel? Did you recognize the manipulation? By maintaining a sense of self and questioning the narrative being spun around you, you can shield yourself from the emotional turmoil manipulators aim to create. Remember, while you can't control the actions of others, you can control your response. This empowerment lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoic wisdom also teaches us the importance of direct communication and seeking clarity in our interactions. If you suspect triangulation, approach the people involved with honesty and openness. Often, bringing hidden things into the light can dissolve the shadows of manipulation. In the face of triangulation, your best allies are your sense of self, your ability to question the narrative, and your commitment to maintaining direct and transparent relationships. As we navigate through these manipulation tactics, keep in mind that building resilience against such tactics is not just about avoiding pitfalls, but about fostering a life of authenticity and true freedom. Up next, we will delve into the complex and often perplexing world of the double bind, where you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you navigate this tricky territory. 2. Double bind. Have you ever been in a situation where no matter what you do, you can't seem to make the right choice? It's like being encouraged to share your thoughts and speak your mind, only to be criticized or dismissed the moment you do. Imagine being told to jump into the pool, but the second you take the plunge, you're scolded for getting wet. This confusing and frustrating scenario is a classic example of the double bind, where each option laid out before you seems to lead to some form of critique or disappointment, effectively trapping you in a cycle of perpetual wrong choices. The double bind is a favorite tactic for manipulators because it keeps you off balance, constantly second-guessing yourself, your decisions, and even your perceptions. The ground beneath you feels shaky because the rules seem to change based on the whims of someone else. It's like playing a game with ever-shifting goalposts, leaving you feeling disoriented and powerless. So, how do we navigate this bewildering tactic? Stoicism offers a powerful framework for understanding and dealing with double binds. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which helps us discern what is within our power and what is not. Your actions, responses, and integrity are within your control. Other people's actions, including their attempts to trap you in a double bind, are not. Consider a time when you faced a situation where every choice seemed to be the wrong one. How did you handle it? Did you find yourself trapped in indecision or frustration? The Stoic approach encourages us to recognize the double bind for what it is, an external challenge, not a reflection of our worth or abilities. It prompts us to respond not with frustration or self-doubt, but with a calm and detached assessment of the situation. Can you clarify the expectations? Can you discuss the contradictory feedback? If the situation remains untenable, perhaps the Stoic practice of turning inward and focusing on maintaining your own ethical standards is the best path forward. By staying grounded in your own values and principles, you can navigate the treacherous waters of the double bind with confidence and clarity. It's not about avoiding every potential pitfall, but about building resilience and maintaining your integrity despite them. Up next, we will explore the insidious tactic of projection, where manipulators deflect their own flaws onto you. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic wisdom can help you recognize and counter this manipulative strategy. 3. Projection. Have you ever found yourself being blamed for something you know you didn't do, or being accused of traits or actions that don't match your character? It can be perplexing and deeply unsettling, leaving you questioning your own reality. This tactic is called projection, where manipulators deflect their own flaws, insecurities, or wrongdoings onto you. Imagine someone who is dishonest accusing you of lying, or someone who is jealous insisting that you are the one who cannot be trusted. It's a defense mechanism used to avoid facing their own shortcomings by making them about you. Projection is particularly insidious because it not only confuses you, but can also make you doubt your own actions and feelings. The Stoics offer profound insights into how to handle such situations with grace and clarity. They teach us the importance of self-awareness and maintaining a clear sense of self, even in the face of unfounded accusations. When you know yourself deeply, you can recognize when the traits being projected onto you are not a true reflection of your character, but rather a mirror of someone else's issues. Think about a time when you were unjustly accused or blamed for something. How did you feel? Did it make you doubt yourself? Marcus Aurelius reminds us to meet others' faults with compassion and understanding. Recognizing projection for what it is, a sign of someone else's inner turmoil, allows us to respond not with anger or defensiveness, but with patience and empathy. This doesn't mean we accept the projection as true or let it slide without addressing it. Instead, we can gently but firmly refute the false accusations and, if possible, encourage the projector to reflect on their own behavior. Furthermore, the Stoic approach to dealing with projection involves recognizing the limits of our responsibility. We are responsible for our actions, our integrity, and our responses. We are not responsible for carrying the emotional baggage that others try to unload onto us. This distinction is crucial for maintaining our emotional well-being in the face of projection. Maintaining strong personal boundaries is essential. Stoicism teaches us the value of knowing what belongs to us and what does not, emotionally, psychologically, and ethically. When someone projects their faults onto us, it's a clear signal to reinforce those boundaries, to protect our inner peace from someone else's chaos. As we continue to explore these manipulation tactics, remember that understanding and defending against them is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Next, we will delve into the pressures of time, a tactic often used to rush us into hasty decisions. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you maintain your composure and make reasoned decisions under pressure. 4. Time pressure. Picture this. You're at a car dealership and the salesperson tells you that the amazing deal on your dream car is only available for the next hour. Suddenly, you feel a rush of urgency, your heartbeat quickens, and you find yourself on the brink of making a hasty decision. This tactic, known as time pressure, is designed to push you into making quick decisions without adequate thought or consideration. It's not just in sales. It can happen in relationships, workplaces, and even in personal interactions, where someone demands an immediate response, leaving you no time to think clearly. Time pressure is a powerful manipulation tactic because it taps into our fear of missing out and our innate desire to act quickly under perceived urgency. But how do we deal with such pressure without compromising our values and making rash decisions? The Stoics offer a timeless solution. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the understanding of what is within our control and what is not. While we may not control the external demands placed on us, we do control our reactions to these demands. We can choose to take a breath, step back, and assess the situation with the clarity and rationality that Stoicism advocates. Think about a recent time when you felt rushed into making a decision. How did it turn out? Did you feel later that you had enough time to consider all your options? Seneca emphasizes the value of time as our most precious resource. He teaches us that the quality of our decisions, how aligned they are with our values and rational understanding, is far more important than the speed with which we make them. Therefore, when someone tries to rush us, invoking the wisdom of Seneca can be a powerful antidote. Recognize that the urgency is often artificial, and that real opportunities, genuine friends, and true deals will allow us the space and time to make decisions that are right for us. Furthermore, Marcus Aurelius encourages us to focus on the present moment and act with purpose and integrity. This Stoic practice can be incredibly helpful when dealing with time pressure. By staying present and not getting swept up in the frenzy of a ticking clock, we can maintain our composure and make decisions that reflect our true selves and our genuine best interests. Let's put this into practice. Next time you feel rushed, pause and ask yourself, is this urgency real, or is it a tactic to push me into a hasty decision? This simple reflection can help you reclaim your time and make more thoughtful choices. As we move forward, remember that building resilience against manipulation is not about avoiding every potential pitfall, but about maintaining our integrity and composure despite them. Up next, we will tackle the unsettling tactic of inconsistency, where someone's behavior keeps you perpetually off balance. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you find stability amidst the chaos. 5. Inconsistency. Imagine you're navigating a ship in a storm, and the lighthouse you're relying on keeps flickering on and off. One moment, you see the guiding light. The next, you're plunged into darkness, left to question your course. This unsettling experience mirrors what it's like to deal with inconsistency in relationships. When someone's behavior towards us is inconsistent, sometimes kind and attentive, other times distant and critical, it triggers a deep sense of unease. We're wired to seek approval and a sense of belonging, so when these are given and then abruptly withdrawn, it leaves us craving more, trying to figure out the puzzle, and inevitably walking on eggshells. Inconsistency is a powerful manipulation tactic because it keeps us off balance, constantly seeking the approval that seems to come and go without warning. This can be especially disorienting in close relationships, where emotional stability and predictability are crucial for trust and well-being. The Stoics teach us that our happiness and peace of mind should not depend on external factors, including the behavior of others. Seneca advises us to anchor our happiness in our own virtue and reason, rather than in the approval or disapproval of others. Reflect on a time when someone's inconsistent behavior affected you. How did it make you feel? Did you find yourself doubting your own worth or questioning your actions? Epictetus reminds us that we have the power to choose our responses to external events. When faced with inconsistency, we can choose to stay centered, reminding ourselves that the only thing we truly control is our own thoughts and actions. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring about how others treat us. Rather, it means not letting our emotional well-being be at the mercy of someone else's fluctuating moods. Practicing Stoicism in the face of inconsistency involves cultivating a sense of self-worth that is independent of external validation. It involves recognizing that while we may desire consistency and clarity in our relationships, we don't need them to be content or to feel good about ourselves. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to find tranquility within ourselves, regardless of external chaos. This internal tranquility becomes our compass, guiding us through the fog of inconsistency without losing our way. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us the value of clear communication and setting boundaries. Inconsistency in others might sometimes be a call for us to express our needs and expectations more clearly. It invites us to practice the Stoic virtues of courage and justice, courage to address the issue directly, and justice to do so with kindness and respect for both ourselves and the other person. As we navigate through these manipulation tactics, remember that understanding and defending against them is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Next, we will explore the deeply personal tactic of emotional blackmail, where your own feelings are used against you. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you maintain your integrity and emotional independence in such situations. 6. Emotional blackmail. Imagine your emotions as precious treasures held deep within a secure vault. Now, envision someone holding the key to that vault, demanding that you meet their conditions to unlock it. This is the essence of emotional blackmail, a tactic where manipulators use guilt, fear, and obligation to control you by exploiting your own feelings. It's as though your emotions are being held hostage, and the ransom is your compliance with their demands. This form of manipulation cuts deep, using the very essence of your human experience against you. Emotional blackmail can manifest in various ways: guilt trips, fear-mongering, obligation, and shaming. These tactics play on our fears, our love for others, and our desire to be seen as good, caring individuals. For example, consider a situation where a partner insists, "If you really loved me, you would do this for me," making you feel guilty and compelled to act against your own interests. But here's the critical truth: real love and respect do not come with strings attached. They are not conditional on meeting a set of demands or sacrificing your well-being for someone else's desires. Reflect on a time when you felt manipulated by guilt or obligation. How did it impact your decisions? Did you feel trapped or coerced? Marcus Aurelius teaches us about the importance of living in accordance with nature, which includes being true to our own nature and character. When someone attempts to use emotional blackmail against us, they are asking us to act against our nature and to betray our own values and integrity for the sake of their desires. The Stoic response is to hold firm to our principles, to act with virtue, and to maintain our inner peace and dignity regardless of external pressures. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of compassion, both for ourselves and for others. In the face of emotional blackmail, it's crucial to extend compassion to ourselves, to recognize that it's okay to feel upset or conflicted, but also to remember that we don't have to act on those feelings. It's equally important to try to understand where the other person is coming from, as their actions are likely driven by their own pain or unmet needs. However, understanding does not mean acquiescing. We can offer empathy without sacrificing our autonomy. Think of a moment when you were pressured into doing something you didn't want to do. How might the situation have changed if you had responded with empathy for yourself and the other person, but also with a firm commitment to your own values? The Stoic approach to emotional blackmail involves maintaining strong personal boundaries. We must recognize what belongs to us emotionally, psychologically, and ethically, and protect it from being commandeered by others. As we move forward, remember that building resilience against manipulation is not just about avoiding every potential pitfall, but about maintaining our integrity and emotional independence despite them. Up next, we will tackle the subtle yet powerful tactic of gaslighting, where manipulators make you question your own reality. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you stay grounded and trust your perceptions amidst this insidious form of manipulation. 7. Gaslighting. Imagine you're in a room full of people and suddenly the lights start flickering. At first you think it's a power issue, but everyone around you insists the lights are perfectly stable. You start to doubt your own perception, wondering if you're seeing things. This is the unsettling essence of gaslighting, a manipulation tactic where the manipulator makes you question your reality, your memory, and your sanity. By consistently denying the truth or contradicting your feelings, gaslighters aim to destabilize your confidence and make you dependent on their version of reality. Gaslighting can take many forms. It might be a partner denying something you know happened, a boss dismissing your legitimate concerns as overly sensitive, or a friend contradicting your feelings and telling you that you're imagining things. The goal is always the same: to undermine your trust in your own experiences and perceptions. It's a subtle yet powerful tactic that can leave you feeling disoriented and questioning your sanity. Reflect on a time when someone made you doubt your own memory or feelings. How did it impact your confidence? Did you start to second-guess yourself? Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be steadfast in the face of external turmoil. He teaches us to trust in our own perceptions and to return to our internal citadel, a place of rationality and inner peace where no one else's words can reach us. When you know yourself and your mind deeply, you can recognize when your reality is being unfairly challenged. The Stoic approach to gaslighting involves constant self-reflection and examination of our beliefs and perceptions, not with doubt, but with clarity and honesty. This practice can be incredibly empowering, as it allows us to differentiate between legitimate self-examination and the external imposition of doubt. By knowing ourselves and our minds deeply, we can recognize when our reality is being unfairly challenged. Consider this. Next time someone tries to make you question your reality, pause and ask yourself, what do I know to be true? What are the facts as I see them? This simple act of reaffirming your truth can help you maintain your mental and emotional equilibrium. The Stoic response to gaslighting is not about becoming impervious to manipulation, but about recognizing it for what it is, an external attempt to control and destabilize, and responding with the strength of our internal fortitude, our commitment to our truth, and our trust in our own perceptions. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to meet others' faults with compassion and understanding, recognizing gaslighting for what it is, a sign of someone else's inner turmoil, allows us to respond not with anger or defensiveness, but with patience and empathy. This doesn't mean we accept the manipulation as true or let it slide without addressing it. Instead, we can gently but firmly refute the false narrative and reaffirm our own truth. As we continue to explore these manipulation tactics, remember that understanding and defending against them is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Up next, we will delve into the tactic of false social approval, where manipulators leverage our need to belong to sway our actions. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you stay true to yourself amidst the pressure to conform. 8. False social approval. Imagine being at a party where everyone is raving about the latest trend, be it a gadget, a diet, or a new way of thinking. You're not convinced, but the pressure to conform is overwhelming. The need to belong and be accepted is a powerful force, one that manipulators can easily exploit through false social approval. This tactic whispers in your ear that to fit in, you must follow the crowd, even when your gut tells you otherwise. False social approval leverages our deep-seated human need to belong, to be part of the tribe. It's the idea that if everyone is doing it, it must be right. But here's the twist. Just because someone says everyone is doing it doesn't make it true. This is a classic manipulation technique designed to sway our actions or opinions by exploiting our desire for social conformity. Think about advertising campaigns that claim, "Join the millions who have switched to this product," or peer pressure that pushes you to make decisions you're uncomfortable with. Reflect on a time when you felt pressured to conform to a group's opinion or action. How did it make you feel? Did you go along with it, or did you stand your ground? Marcus Aurelius advised us to act in accordance with nature, our own nature, and to be true to ourselves. When faced with false social approval, his teachings remind us that our actions should align with our inner virtues, not with the fleeting trends of social consensus. Stoicism also teaches us about the power of ataraxia, peace of mind achieved by living in accordance with reason. This concept becomes particularly relevant in the face of false social approval. By staying true to our reasoned judgments and not being swayed by the supposed actions of the masses, we preserve our inner peace. This doesn't mean isolating ourselves from society or rejecting social norms outright. Rather, it means critically assessing the value and impact of these norms on our lives and making conscious choices about which to follow. Let's put this into practice. Next time you're faced with the pressure to conform, pause and ask yourself, is this action virtuous? Does it contribute to the common good? Is it in harmony with my true self? These questions can help you navigate social pressure with a clear mind and a firm sense of self. The Stoic practice of premeditation, visualizing potential challenges and preparing oneself to face them, can be invaluable here. By anticipating situations where false social approval might be leveraged against us, we can fortify our minds, rehearsing our adherence to Stoic principles and our commitment to acting with integrity, regardless of external pressures. As we continue to explore these manipulation tactics, remember that understanding and defending against them is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Up next, we will delve into the tactic of concealing information, where manipulators skew your perception by keeping you in the dark. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you seek truth and clarity amidst the shadows. 9. Concealment of information. Imagine you're working on a jigsaw puzzle. You're excited to see the full picture, but as you progress, you realize that crucial pieces are missing. No matter how hard you try, you can't complete the puzzle or see the whole image. This frustration is akin to the experience of having vital information concealed from you. It's a deliberate act to skew your perception, to keep you from seeing the full truth, thus influencing your decisions and opinions based on incomplete data. Concealment of information can happen in various contexts: in personal relationships where someone might withhold feelings or intentions, in professional settings where the full details of a project or decision might be kept under wraps, or even in larger societal or political discussions where the full facts are not disclosed to the public. This tactic plays on our natural desire to understand and make sense of our world. When pieces of the puzzle are deliberately kept from us, it can lead to confusion, misunderstandings, and misguided actions. Reflect on a time when you realized that crucial information was being withheld from you. How did it affect your decisions? Did you feel manipulated or frustrated? Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, advised against hasty judgments and decisions made without full understanding. He would counsel us to be patient, to question, and to seek out as much information as possible before forming an opinion or making a decision. This doesn't mean we become paralyzed by indecision, but rather that we acknowledge the incomplete nature of our understanding and proceed with a measured and reasoned approach. Consider this. When faced with a situation where information is being concealed, pause and ask yourself, what am I missing? What additional information do I need to make an informed decision? This simple act of seeking clarity can help you navigate the fog of partial truths and find your way to a more accurate understanding. Moreover, Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the value of inner wisdom and the pursuit of truth for its own sake. When faced with the concealment of information, we are invited to tap into our own inner resources, to use our reason and judgment to question the gaps in our knowledge, and to seek out additional sources of information. This pursuit of the full picture is not just about making better decisions. It's about aligning ourselves more closely with the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature and truth. Let's put this into practice. Next time you sense that information is being concealed from you, actively seek out the missing pieces. Ask questions, do your research, and don't settle for partial truths. This proactive approach will not only help you make better decisions, but will also reinforce your commitment to truth and clarity. As we move forward, remember that understanding and defending against manipulation is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Up next, we will explore the tactic of fear attachment, where manipulators use scare tactics to control your actions by attaching a frightening outcome to any choice other than compliance. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you confront and overcome these fear-based manipulations. 10. Fear attachment. Picture this. You're at work and your boss calls you into their office. They present you with an urgent task, but the catch is clear. If you don't complete it by the end of the day, your job could be at risk. This is fear attachment at play, a tactic where manipulators use scare tactics to control your actions by attaching a frightening outcome to any choice other than compliance. It's a powerful form of manipulation because it taps into one of our most primal instincts: fear. Fear attachment can manifest in many areas of life. In personal relationships, a partner might say, "If you leave me, you'll never find someone who loves you like I do." In professional settings, it might be an employer implying that refusing an unreasonable request could jeopardize your career. The goal is always the same: to create a scenario where fear, rather than rational judgment, drives your decisions. Reflect on a time when you were driven to make a decision out of fear. How did it affect you? Did it lead to a choice you later regretted? The Stoics teach us that fear, like any other emotion, is not an accurate reflection of reality, but rather a perception that can be examined, understood, and ultimately controlled. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the power of our rational mind to maintain equanimity in the face of external disturbances, including attempts to manipulate us through fear. Consider this. When you feel the pressure of fear attachment, pause and ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Is this fear based on a real and imminent threat, or is it an artificial urgency created to manipulate me? This simple act of questioning can help you regain control over your decisions and actions. Stoicism teaches us to return to our inner citadel, our place of reason and virtue, where we can find the clarity and strength to stand firm in our decisions, unaffected by external noise and unfounded threats. Seneca suggests that often when we confront our fears head-on, we find that they are not as insurmountable as they seemed. By facing the supposed consequences of non-compliance, we often discover that the power they held over us diminishes, freeing us to make decisions based on our true values and best interests, rather than out of fear. Let's put this into practice. Next time you're faced with a fear-driven ultimatum, take a moment to breathe and analyze the situation. What are the actual risks? Are there alternative solutions? By confronting your fear and assessing the reality of the threat, you can make more informed and less reactive decisions. As we move forward, Remember that building resilience against manipulation is not just about avoiding every potential pitfall, but about maintaining our integrity and emotional independence despite them. Up next, we will explore the blame game, where manipulators shift responsibility away from themselves and onto you. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you navigate this tactic with calm and reason. 11. Blame game. Imagine you're part of a team working on an important project, and suddenly things start to go wrong. Instead of collaborating to find solutions, one of your teammates begins to point fingers, making you the scapegoat for every issue that arises. This is the blame game, a tactic where manipulators shift responsibility away from themselves and onto you, often to protect their own image or avoid accountability. It's a tactic that can create a toxic environment, filled with stress and confusion, leaving you feeling unjustly burdened and questioning your own actions. Blame shifting is particularly damaging because it not only places undue stress and guilt on you, but can also tarnish your reputation and relationships with others. It relies on creating confusion and doubt, making it challenging to see the situation clearly and defend yourself effectively. Think of a time when you were unfairly blamed for something at work or in your personal life. How did it impact you? Did you find yourself questioning your own actions and decisions, even when you knew you were not at fault? The Stoics offer valuable insights on how to navigate such situations with grace and reason. Marcus Aurelius advises us to meet false accusations with tranquility and to maintain our character in the face of adversity. He would counsel us not to retaliate with anger or defensiveness, but to calmly present our case and let our actions speak to our character. This Stoic composure allows us to maintain our dignity and peace of mind, even when faced with undue blame. Consider this: when someone blames you unjustly, pause and reflect on the facts of the situation. What are the true circumstances? What evidence supports your actions? By calmly and clearly presenting the facts, you can dismantle the manipulator's narrative without becoming entangled in a defensive argument. This approach not only protects your integrity, but also reinforces your commitment to truth and reason. Seneca offers wisdom on dealing with adversity and false accusations, suggesting that our character and virtues will ultimately vindicate us. He advocates for patience and understanding, recognizing that sometimes the truth takes time to emerge. In the meantime, we should live in such a way that those who know us will not believe the false accusations, and those who do not will be won over by our steadfast virtue. Think of a moment when you were blamed for something you didn't do. How might the situation have changed if you had responded with calm and reason rather than anger or defensiveness? The Stoic approach to the blame game involves standing firm in your truth and allowing your character to speak louder than the accusations. As we move forward, remember that understanding and defending against manipulation is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Up next, we will explore the tactic of false praise, where flattery is used as a tool to lower your defenses and make you more susceptible to manipulation. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you discern genuine compliments from manipulative flattery. 12. False praise. Imagine walking into a room and everyone starts showering you with compliments about your recent achievements. You feel a warm glow of appreciation, but something feels off. The praise seems over the top, and you start to wonder if there's an ulterior motive behind it. This is false praise, a tactic where flattery is used not as a form of sincere kindness, but as a tool to lower your defenses and make you more susceptible to manipulation. False praise can be particularly tricky to navigate because it plays on our natural desire for approval and validation. It's sweet on the surface, making us feel seen and appreciated, but the underlying intent is to influence our actions or decisions to someone else's advantage. Think about a time when you received praise that seemed insincere. How did it make you feel? Did you sense that the compliments were aimed at getting you to do something in return? The Stoics teach us the value of self-awareness and the importance of basing our self-esteem on our own judgments and virtues, rather than on external approval. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be indifferent to the opinions of others, whether they are negative or positive, focusing instead on living according to reason and virtue. When we receive praise, the Stoic approach would be to appreciate it, but not to let it sway us from our path or cloud our judgment. Consider this. Next time you receive a compliment, pause and reflect on its source and intent. Does the praise align with your own understanding of your virtues and actions, or does it seem designed to influence you? By examining the compliments we receive, we can distinguish between genuine appreciation and flattery with an agenda. Epictetus highlights the importance of discernment, being able to distinguish between what is truly good, actions in accordance with virtue, and what merely appears to be good, like empty praise. This discernment helps us stay grounded and focused on our true goals, rather than being distracted by superficial validation. Think about a moment when someone's praise made you feel manipulated. How might the situation have changed if you had approached the compliment with a Stoic mindset, appreciating it without letting it alter your decisions or actions? This practice of mindfulness helps us maintain our equilibrium, whether we're being criticized or complimented. As we continue to explore these manipulation tactics, remember that understanding and defending against them is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Up next, we will delve into the tactic of victimhood manipulation, where manipulators exploit your empathy by presenting themselves as helpless victims. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you maintain compassion without sacrificing your autonomy. 13. Victimhood manipulation. Imagine a friend who constantly portrays themselves as the victim, no matter the situation. They tell you stories of how life and others have treated them unfairly, pulling at your heartstrings and making you feel compelled to help. This is victimhood manipulation, a tactic where someone exploits your empathy by presenting themselves as helpless victims, using their supposed vulnerability to gain control and influence over you. Victimhood manipulation is particularly effective because it plays on our natural desire to help those in need. It puts you in a bind where saying no can feel like abandoning someone in their hour of need, even when your instincts tell you that their distress might not be as straightforward as it seems. Think about a time when you felt manipulated into helping someone because they painted themselves as the victim. How did it make you feel? Did you later realize that their portrayal might have been exaggerated to elicit your sympathy and compliance? The Stoics teach us the importance of wisdom, the ability to see things for what they truly are. Marcus Aurelius urges us to act with kindness and justice, but also with wisdom. He would counsel us to extend our empathy judiciously, ensuring that our desire to help is not being exploited for manipulative ends. Stoicism doesn't call for a hardening of the heart, but for a sharpening of the mind, to see when our virtues are being turned against us. Consider this. When someone presents themselves as a victim, pause and reflect on their past behavior and the consistency of their narrative. Are there patterns of manipulation? Are they seeking help in ways that are genuine, or do their pleas for help seem to have strings attached? By critically assessing their actions and intentions, you can offer support in ways that truly help without becoming entangled in their manipulative dynamics. Seneca, with his insight into the complexities of human relationships, reminds us that true help does not always mean giving others what they want, but what they truly need. Sometimes, the most compassionate response can be to encourage self-sufficiency and resilience, rather than acquiescing to demands that serve only to entrench the manipulator's victim narrative. This approach not only protects you from manipulation, but also empowers the other person to grow and develop their own strength. Think about a moment when you were asked for help under seemingly urgent and desperate circumstances. How might the situation have changed if you had approached it with a Stoic mindset, balancing compassion with discernment? This practice helps us maintain strong personal boundaries, offering support in ways that are truly helpful without becoming enmeshed in manipulative tactics. As we continue to explore these manipulation tactics, remember that understanding and defending against them is not just about avoiding discomfort, but about fostering a life of authenticity and inner strength. Up next, we will explore the tactic of intentional silence, where manipulators use the absence of communication as a weapon. Stay tuned to learn how Stoic principles can help you maintain your integrity and self-worth in the face of such manipulative behavior. 14. Intentional silence. Imagine you're in the middle of a heated argument and suddenly the other person goes silent. They refuse to acknowledge your words, your presence, or even your very existence. This isn't just an awkward pause, it's a deliberate act, using the absence of communication as a weapon. This silence is heavy, loaded with unspoken messages meant to make you feel invisible, unworthy, or anxious. Intentional silence is a tactic that manipulates by withholding recognition and validation, pushing you into a corner where you're left questioning your actions and your value. Intentional silence can be profoundly disconcerting because it attacks a fundamental human need, the need for connection and acknowledgement. When someone chooses to withhold these, it's not just communication that's being denied, it's recognition and validation. Think about a time when someone gave you the silent treatment. How did it make you feel? Did you start to doubt your own worth or question your actions, trying to figure out what you did wrong? The Stoics teach us that our worth and our peace of mind come not from external validation, but from living in accordance with our own values and principles. Marcus Aurelius advises us to focus inward, to find tranquility and self-assurance in our own judgments and actions, rather than being swayed by the approval or disapproval of others. When faced with intentional silence, this Stoic principle encourages us to reflect on our own integrity and self-worth, independent of the acknowledgement from those around us. Consider this: next time someone uses silence as a weapon, pause and reflect on your own values and actions. Are you acting with integrity? Are your actions aligned with your principles? By grounding yourself in your own sense of self-worth, you can navigate the unsettling silence with confidence and clarity. This internal strength not only protects you from manipulation, but also reinforces your commitment to living authentically. Seneca offers wisdom on patience and endurance, virtues that are particularly relevant when navigating the terrain of intentional silence. He teaches us that sometimes the best response is to maintain our dignity, to continue living virtuously, and to let our actions speak for themselves. In doing so, we demonstrate that our self-esteem is not hostage to others' willingness to communicate. Think of a moment when you were met with intentional silence. How might the situation have changed if you had responded with calm and confidence, grounded in your own values? This practice helps us maintain our composure and self-respect, even when others try to undermine it with silence. As we close this chapter of our Stoic journey together, remember that in the vast tapestry of human interaction, manipulation may weave its threads around us. But it is the strength of our own character, the clarity of our reason, and the steadfastness of our virtue that determine the pattern of our lives. I invite you to watch one of the suggested videos on the screen. Let's keep this conversation going, delving deeper into the wisdom of the Stoics and cultivating a life of virtue, resilience, and profound peace. Thank you for walking this path with me today and for being an integral part of this Stoic journey. See you soon. As we wrap up our journey through the intricate landscape of manipulation tactics, let's take a moment to reflect on the wisdom we've gathered. Picture yourself navigating a dense forest. The path is winding and fraught with hidden traps, but armed with the lantern of Stoic wisdom, you illuminate the way forward, stepping confidently past the snares of manipulation. Each tactic we've explored, from triangulation to intentional silence, represents a shadowy corner of that forest, a challenge to your integrity and self-worth. Yet, with the principles of Stoicism as your guide, you can navigate these challenges with clarity and strength. Throughout history, great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca have shown us that our true power lies not in controlling the actions of others, but in mastering our own responses. They teach us that the fortitude of our character, the clarity of our reason, and the steadfastness of our virtue are our greatest defenses against manipulation. By understanding these tactics and applying Stoic principles, we build a life of authenticity, resilience, and profound peace. Now, think about the situations in your own life. Have you encountered these manipulation tactics? How might the wisdom of the Stoics change your response the next time you face them? I encourage you to reflect on these questions and consider how you can incorporate Stoic teachings into your daily interactions. This self-reflection not only helps you recognize and counter manipulation, but also strengthens your commitment to living a life aligned with your values. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. The insights we've discussed are just the beginning of a lifelong practice of self-awareness and personal growth. Stay curious and continue to seek out the wisdom of the Stoics. As you do, you'll find that each challenge you face becomes an opportunity to cultivate your inner strength and deepen your understanding of what it means to live virtuously. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Your participation and engagement make this exploration of Stoic wisdom all the more meaningful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights and discussions. Let's continue to walk this path of enlightenment and empowerment together. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and keep seeking the truth. See you soon.